Welcome, Rangers fans, to our last fall semester, at least, Coach's Show. We will pick this up again after the Christmas break, but here we are in the final week of the school year prior to Christmas, the last week of the first semester, and as we always do, we'll recap last week and then look ahead to what's going on over the break and beyond. And, of course, as we always do, we talk, our football program continues to win, and our team continues to win. Last week, a big 21-14 victory in a state semifinal or Final Four game. We were able to beat the Angleton Wildcats 21-14 up at McLean Stadium on the campus of Baylor in a gorgeous afternoon game, just an unseasonably warm and sunny day for mid-December. And just a great atmosphere for football, and our players rose to the occasion. If you've watched the game in person or later on the live or on the Rangers Network, we got out to a lead. They came back, they tied it, as these games often do, go down to the wire, and we managed to score with a few minutes left in the game to win 21-14 and advance for the second year in a row to the state championship game. Going to play in the state finals this Saturday at AT&T Stadium, playing for a state championship. But we'll talk about that game, but let's go back. Let's go back to last Saturday's game against Angleton. A highly touted team, a team that hadn't given up very many points, and it's scored a lot of points. If you remember, if you watched the show last week, kind of have an unusual style of offense and defense that really made it tough on our kids. Had to have a great week of practice, but their highly touted running game and their explosive throws off of that running game. Coach Westphal, they didn't get a first down, I think, until shortly before the half, and I think we limited them to 2 explosive plays on the entire afternoon.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we always talk about stopping the run and limiting the explosive plays, and I was really proud of the way our defense started. The first 6 possessions that they had, we were able to get a 3 and out, so we stopped the run, kind of tried to make them one-dimensional. They did get a couple of first downs there late in the half, but Diego came up with a big interception to stop a drive. And, so we talk about turnovers, stopping the run, and explosive plays, and I was really pleased with our defense for the most part on those 3 categories.
You bet. I think they rushed for 82 yards on the day, which that's not a lot for anybody, but particularly for a team that made their living with their the wide zone overtake run game that they did. You mentioned 2 turnovers. They only scored 14 points. One of those was on a turnover on us that they picked up and scored and ran. So they really just scored 7 points on our defense. Just an outstanding effort all the way around.
Yeah, really pleased with all of them. I mean, the D-line, I thought, did a great job of maintaining gap integrity, being physical up front, not getting pushed off the ball. The linebackers were fast to fit in their gaps. I felt like our kids had a real good understanding of what was coming at them based upon how they lined up and plays they'd seen on film. And just really pleased with the execution of the kids, which is, they paid attention in meetings, practiced real well all week long, and people don't see the preparation that goes into that, and those kids did a great job of being locked in all week.
No doubt, and the big turnover, I guess, with about 4 minutes to go in the game when it's tied, and we went in and scored a touchdown a play or 2 later, and it was the big turning point of the game. Offensively, Coach Hill, is probably as good a front 7 as we've blocked all year long. 2 fine cornerbacks are very difficult to separate from. Don't get to go up and down the field on a team like that at will, but we had our moments and made the most of our moments.
Yes, sir. They were an elite defense, like you mentioned, and it's not always going to be easy when you're playing a team like that. I was just proud of how our guys, answered. And we started off with a couple of good touchdown drives, and we were getting some first downs, but not all of these drives are going to end up as touchdowns in the semifinals, state finals type of atmosphere. And credit to Angleton's defense. They were possibly the best that we have played this year. Those guys were really, really tough up front. And then just, credit to our offensive linemen. At the beginning of the year, we had 5 brand new O-linemen that had never started a varsity football game. And now in week 15, it was really cool to have those 5 guys on the sideline. Hey, coach, I think we can block the front like this. And their coaches on the field for us making adjustments. And we made some tweaks and started blocking things like our kids suggested. And it worked. It worked better than when we came up with it, I guess. So maybe we should bring them in on the weekends. But they made some great adjustments. And then, when it's white-knuckle situation in the fourth quarter, tie ball game, got to score here to go to the state championship. And our guys answered, and they went down and scored.
No doubt. Ran the ball for twice as many yards as Angleton, who made a living running the football. Had some big throws and catches. Our kicking game, I think we punted them inside the 10 on one occasion. We had a punt return of 38 yards. These are things that probably don't show up in the storyline if you read about the game or on the highlights, but we're instrumental. I mean, it's just going to always be a play or two here or there to decide a game like this. These are not lopsided games. It's going to come down to a handful of plays. You never know when those plays are going to happen, so you got to be ready and play your hardest every play. Our kids did that. So for the 8th time in the semifinals in our school's history last Saturday, and now with the victory, they'll be the 5th team that goes all the way to the last game. And that game will be Saturday at 11 o'clock in the morning, at 11 a.m. at AT&T Stadium against Highland Park, and highly touted, just a storied program that we'll face for the state championship. And we're going to talk about that game when we come back. As we always do, though, we're going to take a break here and turn it over to Ms. Schneider, our principal, and Melissa Miller, our assistant athletic coordinator. They're going to talk about what else has gone on in our other athletic endeavors the past week and what's ahead over the next few weeks over the Christmas holidays and beyond. So we'll turn it over to them, and we'll be back to talk about the Highland Park game in just a second.
Thanks, Coach. Again, congrats to you guys on another win. That was exciting on Saturday.
Big one.
A little nervous in the third, but you pulled it out. Let's talk about our other sports that are going on right now. Girls basketball in the heart of their district season. They had 2 tough losses last week to 2 very strong programs, Bernie High and Piper. Shout out to Sayana, Olivia, Izzy. They've just been putting in solid performances every night, as has the entire team. I mean, if you've watched this team from the beginning, the improvement, the growth is fantastic. JV team is still undefeated. They won by 2 over Piper the other night, kind of down to the wire. So really good things happening regardless of wins and losses. Boys basketball, man, talk about tough. They played Piper and Bernie last week and lost both games by 1 point.
That's so tough.
It is.
That is so tough.
It is. So says a lot about Coach Thornton, both Coach Thorntons, and the kids that they're in there competing every single game, hoping that they can figure out how to just go get over that little hump of the 1 point deficit. Wrestling killed it. Shout out to Coach Thomas. They headed to Cedar Park for the Pinnapalooza wrestling tournament. Girls were the tournament champions and the boys brought home second.
Nice.
So can't do much better than that. And then Friday swim was at Davenport for the spooky Friday the 13th invite. Talked to Coach Duck a little bit, Coach Mooch. They had fantastic, kind of dominated the meet, so really proud of them. Shout outs to Finley, Jason, Ava, Katie, who have just had really good meets on Friday, winning different events for themselves individually, but just a really good showing for the swim team.
Yeah, and our soccer kids, our soccer seasons have opened. So girls soccer opened with a scrimmage. They won 2-0 over O'Connor. We had goals by Morgan Heights and Raylan Hinojosa, so congratulations, girls. Our boys are also taking off. They had a great scrimmage last night against Roosevelt, so soccer season is in full swing. Really excited to see what they can do this year.
Yeah.
And our student of the year, student of the week. Student of the
Might
week.
be student of the year, who knows?
Yeah, Owen Vick. Owen Vick is our student of the week. Owen has taken it upon himself to become a spirit master for our student body. And last week when we were in the middle of that game and things were a little bit tense, Owen was just all in, ready to go, keeping the kids and the team going.
I was going to say, I don't think he's even just leading the students at this point. I think the parents are responding to him, and in the third quarter on Saturday, he was screaming at the players and firing them up. So I don't think he's just leading the student section anymore. I think he is the spirit master.
He is the spirit master, yes. So congrats to you, Owen. And then our coach of the week, teacher of the week and coach of the week.
Yes.
Coach Thomas hosted, we mentioned this previously in Ranger Network, but he hosted a tournament, Clarkson Classic, on our campus. And it was flawless, I'd have to say. Just had every detail outlined, knew exactly when to get kids on the mat, how to keep things moving. He's taken on a lot, and we're just very proud of him and what he's doing with, not only in the classroom, but with the wrestling program.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
So congrats to Owen and Coach Thomas. Thanks for all you do for our Ranger athletics.
Yeah. Now on to
Next week.
Girls, yeah.
Okay, girls basketball. Today they are taking on New Braunfels. Big game for them here at Smithson Valley, 6:30 p.m. If you haven't had a chance to see them, or you've got nothing to do tonight, come on out and watch. I know they'd appreciate it. Friday they head to Wagner, finishing up first round of district, and then boys will play the same opponents. But today, Tuesday, they are at New Braunfels, 6:30 for varsity, and then Friday they will host Wagner, 6:30 at SV. Wrestling has kind of the week off, but we'll head Saturday to the Hill Country Invitational at Vista Ridge. I expect another great performance from them. And then girls soccer and boys soccer are both continuing their scrimmage season. So the girls today will host Warren at 7:15, and then we'll head to Clemens on Friday to end out their scrimmage season. Both of those, again, varsities at 7:15, and then the boys they had one last night, and then Friday they are going to take on Taft, and that will be at Ferris Stadium, which is Northside Sports Complex, varsity at 6:30. So good luck to all of our teams this week. Is there something?
Lots of things happening this week.
Yeah.
And one final reminder,
Oh
don't
my
forget.
God, here we go.
Coach Miller loves it when I bring this up. We have final exams this week, so make sure you're studying, taking care of business, and finishing our semester strong.
And go Rangers.
That's right,
Back
go
to you,
Rangers.
Coach.
Thank you, ladies. Thanks for that update. Congratulations to our athletes, and good luck to our athletes in the coming weeks as their seasons move ahead. And as our football season moves ahead to the last week, there are 2 teams left in the 5A playoffs, Highland Park and Smithson Valley. And as we said earlier, they'll meet at 11 a.m. on Saturday at AT&T Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys. So I guess about as big a game as you can get, huh, Coach Worstfer?
Yes, sir. All my years, this is about the biggest one there is.
It's our school's 5th trip to the state championship game. As many of you know, we've not won that game yet. Looking for another opportunity this Saturday. But when you talk about Highland Park, you know, they're certainly one of the blue bloods of high school football in Texas, and won 3 in a row. 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, they won 3 in a row, and have had a story program going all the way back to the 30s and 40s. You know, Doak Walker, those guys all came through Highland Park. So tall order. And, you know, to get a win here, they're 14-1 coming into the game. They had 1 non-district loss. Of course, we had 2 losses earlier in the year ourselves, and but have been on a bit of a roll, obviously, since then. And last Friday night, they defeated Denton Ryan, another highly touted team. They beat them 24-21, kicked field goal right toward the end of the game to win that game. And their offense coach, pretty varied, do a nice job blending the run and pass. They're not necessarily out of the mainstream. They run things that you see other people run. They may just run them better than everybody else.
Yeah, that's the thing that jumps out is they're so well coached and they just execute at such a high level. And every play they have really has a couple of options. They do a whole lot of run-pass option plays. They run the ball and throw the ball about half and half. So you got to be ready to defend everything. Got several very explosive receivers. Do a great job catching the ball. Quarterback that's extremely mobile, good runner. He'll run the ball or throw the ball. Couple of solid tailbacks that play as well, and then their O-line is monstrous huge. I know that's not what you want to hear. I mean, you'd like me to tell you that they have a weakness, but unfortunately, they don't.
Doesn't seem like the teams in the finals ever have a weakness. I'm not sure what that is, what that would be, but yeah, big offensive line, very balanced as you mentioned, and but we'll have to find a way to get some stops and get some turnovers.
Yes, sir. It's going to be all about our D-line being able to battle with their offensive line and disrupt things a little bit. Get the quarterback hopefully out of his comfort zone, and of course, like every week, we got to find a way to stop the run, and hopefully create a couple of takeaways.
No doubt. And, you know, just hang in there, you know, make them adjust to the level of play that you're trying to bring as we adjust to the level of play that they are bringing, for sure. And on the flip side of the ball, Coach Hill, defensively, good players at every position.
Yes, sir. You know, much like last week, another elite front. Their front 7 is really good, and a little multiple as well. You know, they base out of a 3 down, but they'll slide their front and cover up some different people. So just another week of, you know, you don't get this far by not trusting your rules. We're going to have to trust our rules up front. We're going to have to communicate well, and it's really going to be a battle of the trenches. You know, who's going to win the line of scrimmage, and then are we going to be able to generate some explosive plays?
No doubt. And, and some of those plays, explosive and otherwise, can come in a kicking game. Can we get a big kick return? Can we block a kick? Can we pin them deep when we punt? Can we kickoff coverage pin them and give their offense a long field? Things that people don't talk about too much. Block a field goal, make your field goals, just the things that it'll boil down to all these things that both coaches and myself mentioned. And, of course, their head football coach, Coach Randy Allen, I think is the second winningest coach in Texas high school football history. Before he retires, he'll be the winningest coach. He's that close to the record. Randy's done it well for a long time, done it the right way, very classy coach and a very good coach. And I have all the respect and admiration in the world for him. We would just like for him to go 0-1 this week. That's our goal. But anyway, we hope you'll come to Arlington and watch it. It'll be a tremendous atmosphere for football, as it always is. 11 a.m. kickoff in AT&T Stadium. Online ticket purchases, I know that's floating around on social media there. Rangers Network will not be able to broadcast the game live. That belongs to the network, of course. But we will have a pregame show that begins around 9:30, about an hour and a half prior to kickoff. They'll have a pregame show on the Rangers Network. And when the game starts, then that will morph into a radio broadcast of the game. And then the replay of which on Rangers Network can be shown at a later day. So we hope you'll make the drive. We look forward to the challenge. We look forward to representing the Smithson Valley community, the Smithson Valley High School, and the Comal ISD as we go pursue a state championship Saturday at 11 o'clock. Hope you'll be there. Thanks for being on today. We'll see you next time. Merry Christmas.